Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you so much for checking out another episode. Truly appreciate the support. It's pretty crazy. Still doing this thing, nearly 10 years into it now. And so thank you for listening and sharing the show with friends. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. Today's episode features the return of the Winks. Had a lot of fun catching up with Dillon and Alex of the Winks, talking about a brand new EP they're working on and a big party they got planned. And we even do a couple stripped down live acoustic ones for today's show. So hope you dig it. Big thanks to Encapsulated Studios in Maplewood, Missouri for letting us hang out and record this one today. Check them out for your recording needs. And don't miss the big Winks EP release party happening December 9th at Platypus with friends of the show, Native State and Misplaced Religion. It's going to be a fun night of rock and roll out there. And you can also catch Misplaced Religion on a show I'm a part of. I'm hosting the 45 at Diamond Music Hall on November 11th on Saturday night. You can come out there and join us as I'll be introducing all the bands that night. But you got the 45, Outrun the Fall, Misplaced Religion, Modern Angst, and the Richters. And tickets available right now on eventbrite.com. So grab those and come party at Diamond Music Hall in St. Peters, Missouri. Big thanks again, as always, to my friends over at Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri, serving up all your craft beer needs. Over 25 rotating taps over there, so they sure to have a beverage just right for you. All kinds of tasty drinks, but you also got all kinds of good food out there. You got your burgers and nachos, flatbread pizzas, pretzels, and all that. Your favorite bar food. You can find some live music out there happening on the weekends. And this week, you got to kick off your weekend with Single Bingo Night. Thursday, November 9th is Single Bingo 1993. Friday is their Veterans Day celebration with a Hops for Hero event happening at the Wentzville location from 9 to 10 with live music from Steve Kyle. And then on Saturday, November 11th, we'll be celebrating Veterans Day. So come out and be a part of that. And then you've heard me talk all about it, but they've opened up a new location over the summer in Flint Hill, Missouri, the Fly High location, and bringing a same great beer, but an all-new dining experience, part of the Fly High Kitchen, and you can get some great live music out there as well. On Friday, November 10th, Mickey Scott, and Saturday, November 11th, Corey Clapper returns. You can find their full beer menu, food menu, concert calendar, and more at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. Get plugged in with them on Facebook and Instagram for more info. And keep an eye out if you are in the Hannibal, Missouri area. They are opening a new location for you. So pretty exciting stuff. A lot of big things happening for Friendship Brewing Company. Again, get plugged in, friendshipbrewingcompany.com. If you need anything from me, feel free to reach out. Facebook, Instagram, rockpaperpodcast.com for everything. And hit me up on email, rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode with the Winks.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dillon Dunnigan.
I'm Alex Ward.
And we are 2/4 of 3/2 of 8/6 of the Winks. And you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast, also available
at rockpaperpodcast.com.
Thank you.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with returning guest, the Winks. Welcome back to the show, guys.
I'd like to thank you for having me again.
For
having Ward for the first time.
Yeah, this is Alex's first time on the show, though.
Yeah, thank you, Shane.
Yeah, man. Very cool to meet you. We just met a few minutes ago, but this was what's fun about this show, man, getting to meet new people and catch up with old friends. So I'm getting the best of both worlds today, man.
Yeah, you're getting it from both sides.
Yeah. And we got brand new music to talk about from the Winks. We got a new EP, I guess, coming soon. So we're going to give you a little talk about some of that and when you might be able to hear more of it. But I just thought it'd be fun to catch up. I mean, it's been a long time since we've done one of these, and a whole lot's changed over the last few years since we did one of them. So I figured we got plenty to catch up on. But I guess being that Alex is first time here, we should probably start there and how you two became friendly. How Alex joins the mix.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I've been playing music for a long, long time. I've been, let's see, I didn't start playing drums until, drums were like my fifth instrument, something like that. But,
No shit.
but
we can say shit and fuck, right?
Yeah, you can say shit and fuck if you want.
Okay. I always double check before I start. Well, anyway.
I don't think it's possible for you not to say that.
Sometimes.
So let's see. Yeah, I started playing drums back in high school, and before that, I was recording. So I started getting into audio engineering, and I was playing saxophone in this instrumental rock band called Thrift Shoplifters, and we were kind of like nerd rock, sort of prog instrumental. And funny enough, Calvin, our bassist in the Winks, he's a fan of Lobby Boxer, who who the bassist of Thrift Shoplifters is now the bassist for Lobby Boxer. So kind of a weird full circle thing there. So basically through Thrift Shoplifters, I got really into recording, and I was recording some friends outside of that project, and they had a drummer who left his drum set there. So I had another project I was working on, and I asked him to play drums on it. And then he gave me kind of a snide remark. He was like, well, my drum set has been sitting down there. Why don't you just play drums on it yourself? At the time, I thought it was kind of snide, but looking back, it was a great opportunity. Started playing drums at that moment, and about 11 years later or so, playing in the Winks. I was introduced to Dillon by Jesse Abshire.
That's right. Yeah, Jesse from No Point.
Yeah, I was at Ramp Riders skate park, and I met Jesse. He and I were both like the two skaters that were taking it kind of easy, because I started getting into skateboarding just as like a hobby a couple years ago. very late in life.
Dude, I can't picture you on a board. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like I just can't. You're like a rollerblades kind of guy to me.
No, I have no shame. I pad up completely. I'm 28. I don't want to get injured.
So now I can see it. And like anybody that laughs at that, like fuck off, because you get about 26 and like you don't heal the same way. So,
Right.
like if anybody's like 18 or 20 laughing at that, it's coming, and I'm gonna be right there when you break your fucking elbow.
Yep. Yeah, dude. I do. I do knee pads, elbow pads, hip pads, and wrist guards. So yeah, I'm like covered head to toe in protection. But anyway, yeah, I met Jesse, and I mentioned to him that I was looking for bands to play in, and I'd always wanted to be in a pop punk. I know we're not specifically pop punk. We have some influence there, but I would say this is as close as I could have hoped. And, I love our style anyway, outside of the strictly pop punk music. So yeah, he reached out to me September-ish, August of 2022.
Yeah, it would have been, because it was several months. I actually talked to Mark about 2 weeks ago, and it was August.
Okay.
So August, September-ish, yeah.
Yeah, so August of last year. Jesse is the guitarist and one of the singers for No Point. And you guys just know each other through Encapsulated Studios.
Yeah, well, I mean, we played, we actually did like an old Riverdale set with the original drummer of the Winks, Alex Black, a bunch of years ago. Jesse was in Radio Buzzkills for a little while, and just we've been playing together for like 10 years. So
well, I take that back.
Yeah, we've been all over playing Foo Bar and whatever basement show like the old Piss Palace, and if you know, and doing stuff like that. So yeah, I've known Jesse and them for a long time.
Nice. Yeah, and you might hear him if you listen real closely.
Yeah, I was going to say give it a second, but
all right.
Nope, damn it.
You would at least hear
play another one. No, they can't.
You'd at least hear Barry on the drums.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But well, very cool. So you guys been a little over a year as this lineup. Is that correct then?
Yeah, I would say so. It'd be about a year, because right before we found you, I was putting out feelers for a bass player as well. We'll come back full circle and explain all of this in due time. This is like a M. Night Shyamalan thing going on here or whatever.
Right. Tarantino.
Tarantino-ish. Yeah, we're in part 3, and we're going to go back to part 2 here in a second. And so
if it was Shyamalan, there'd be a twist ending.
Yeah, that's
It'd
right.
be like,
yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about.
And Calvin's been here all along.
Alex was a ghost the whole time.
No, I'm gonna wake up like from a drunken haze, and I'm actually still 22, and like this whole premonition was like, okay, you can do 2 things: really get what you want, or just keep playing music.
Right.
So we were putting out feelers for bass players, and I used to work at a place called Sam's Pizza back in Highland, Illinois, where I'm from. And I had worked with Calvin one time, and we started talking, and we ended up talking about Drain You by Nirvana. It's like, I like Nirvana, but I'm not like, oh, bro, fucking Nirvana, dude. Like, but like, I think Drain You is a beautiful song, and I really love playing it. And fast forward, one of our old coworkers saw Mitchell had seen, or Ponce Mitchelton, I'm sorry, had seen I was posting about a bass player. He goes, hey, dude, Calvin plays. Like, you worked with him, so here's his number. Sweet. I asked, like, hey, man, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, here, like, what are your influences? What are you looking to do? And he goes, like, I play everything from, like, I think he was like, I like Tool and jazz to the Foo Fighters and, like, Paul McCartney. And I went, boom, that's it. Like, because since we've talked, I'm a fucking Beatles freak.
Yeah.
I'm a McCartney freak. Like, that's, like my main thing now is, just, like, learning those tunes and, like, stuff like that. So he said that. I'm like, okay, you piqued my ears up, And then he came over. We had a couple jams, and I'm like, yeah, this is the dude. And now we've been going a little over a year with Calvin as well.
Very cool. Yeah, man. Well, you yes, I think it was like I pulled it up. It was February of 17 we last spoke on the show, I think. And it was you and Alex Black, like you mentioned. And that line, I think we set at Way Out Club.
Yep.
So RIP to Way Out Club. Which is kind of the fun part about doing this show too, is like those timestamps like that to see, like, you know, I mean, so many bands have like come and gone since then and stuff too. And like, since I've been doing this thing and venues and everything, it's just like, it's kind of fun to have these moments in time documented, you know, for the time capsule or whatever I plan to do with this thing, you know? So,
definitely.
So it was fun to, at least we had that recording there and stuff. So
I remember you yelling at me because I kept putting my beer bottle down too loud.
I think, well, I only had the one mic, I think, at the time still.
Yeah, you did. It was on the table. You're like, hey, like,
right.
it's like, it's right there. I'm like, oh yeah, my bad.
So are you doing just basically a room mic back
Yeah, I
then?
had like a Blue Yeti tabletop mic
Okay.
in the early days of the show. So come a long way since then.
I can't believe that's been, so what, my math is right, 6 years?
Yeah. So.
Have I really not sat down and talked to you in 6 years?
Well, I think, you know, there was a pandemic or something like that too. And
Oh, really?
yeah, there was, I don't know, I read something about that.
What? Huh?
So there was,
See, if anybody that knows me, like, I could say that and be like, you know what? He might not be kidding because that fucker's drunk.
but there was, you know, it was just, definitely, I think we tried doing one and then what it fell through, but I'm glad we were here today and making it happen. And it all seems like time wise it worked out because we do have brand new music to talk about. So,
Definitely. That's the one thing I've learned about like getting older and not having a drink. It's been almost going on 3 years. Like, you know, you want the instant gratification in life and all that stuff. But like I've learned, and especially even the process of just getting to sit here with you, it's like, you know what? Like, fucking breathe.
Yeah.
Sometimes things happen the way they happen.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I've kind of come to that. Like, there's a lot of times I'll reach out to people that I like want to hang with and whatever, and it doesn't happen. And I kind of do get in my feelings sometimes, you know, I'll be like, and then I realize like it'll happen when it's ready to happen, kind of thing. You know, It's like it all works out, and in the end, it comes together when it's supposed to. And so I do have some very similar feelings about it. Like, so, but anyway, I'm glad to hear that you are sober now, and it seems like I was kind of picking up on some of those. There are definitely a lot of lyrical themes in some of these songs. Not necessarily talking about your sobriety, but like I feel like it kind of comes through some of these songs. You know, just kind of knowing you personally and stuff too. Like I feel like there's some songs like we played a song called "Lush" in live that appears on this upcoming EP, and I feel like that's you know, obviously a lot about that, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's even funnier. I wrote that when I was still drinking.
Right.
It's like I think for a long time I knew that there was a problem, but like, you know, like a lot of people that go through, you know, alcoholism, it's like you're not ready to address it because, you know, you're afraid of what's on the other side, you don't care, you know, you like being that messed up, or, you know, in my case, I'm self-medicating, this is the only way I understand. And so that goes back to the fear of like, well, if I take this away, what am I going to do? You know, what else is like be sober? Mm-hmm. Like, God, no, that sounds fucking awful. I need, you know, give me 2 beers before I walk in somewhere. You know what I mean?
All the years are changing, yet I find myself still stuck the same. Your whole life rearranging, and I can't seem to remember anything. I just open up the bottle, and it won't hurt after a while. So many blurred late nights of paper bags and plastic heart-shaped knives. I can't remember if it's wrong or right, but it only matters if I'm gonna die. I just open up the bottle, and it won't hurt after a while. Just pass me another round, then I'll drift in between the lost and found. I think I'm drowning with no water to die in, not getting any better because I'm not trying.
And yeah, so like fun story. I've been sitting on this EP for 3 years, literally. So Mark Lyle used to be in the band. Now he's in Discrepancies, and they're going off and they're traveling really hard and playing some nice shows and
Yeah, opening for Tech Nine.
Tech Nine and stuff. And I'm like, that's
Right.
fucking killer. Oh yeah, they just did a Hollywood Undead last night as we record this on the 23rd.
Hollywood Undead and Tech Nine show two nights in a row. Yeah.
Wow.
And
pretty sweet.
they dropped a
Great for
record
them.
this year too, I think.
Yep.
And so they're doing stuff, but before all of that, Mark, we and I were playing. We were down here and we recorded a record. And at the end of it, I wrote Green Eyes, and I actually showed it to Mike Jones, the owner of Encapsulated. I'm like, hey man, what do you think of this? He's like, honestly, at this point, we had an in-depth conversation, and to sum it up, he was like, you have to choose now. It's like, do you want to do that stuff? That's fine. Or do you want to go full bore with this? And I looked at it and I'm like, well, do you think it's going to be approachable, marketable? And at the end of the day, I write songs to write songs, but also I want to make a living at this. So I said, do you think it'll sell? I'm not trying to, I don't believe in selling out, whatever, but I just like, I want to make money to keep this going so I can push this to anybody that might enjoy it and have an outreach that I can't reach personally just doing DIY stuff.
Right.
And so we scrapped the record and we recorded Green Eyes over a few months. And then, so about that point we have, and this is the full circle to chapter 1 that I was talking about earlier. So Austin Johnson used to play guitar and he's on the album. Mark plays drums on the EP, and then Braden McCarthy plays bass. We met Braden as well while we were getting ready to work on this stuff. Austin had a child with his partner. And so I'm like, yeah, man, you're dad now. Like, this stuff, what we're trying to do, it's going to clash, And so he's like, okay, I got to go do my own thing. And I respect that. And I think I haven't talked to him a lot, but he's really happy. Little baby's real healthy and stuff like that. They're all doing good. I'm like, that's great. A couple months later, Mark follows suit. And I'm like, okay, shit, this is not good. Right before that, I was seeing a woman and she left as well for, don't care to get into that. And then after Mark left, Braden had left too, because Braden had told me this, like, this is something I really enjoy playing with Mark, and I don't know if I want to do it without Mark. And I'm like, all right, that's respectable. And so I had met our friend Alex Stewart. He used to play in the Few and does stuff around town. He played guitar with us for a while as well. And then we just had a brief conversation to where he's in his life, he wants different things, and his path has taken him somewhere else. So we're going to be having some friends fill in on guitar for us for right now and stuff like that. But 2022, at 29 years old, and my birthday is this weekend, this Monday, a week from now, has probably been the worst fucking year of my life. I mean, it has been shit, and I'm over it. I'm over my 20s. I'm over all of this. Not super stoked on a lot of things right now, but I'm glad that this is finally getting to see the light of day. I'm really thankful that I met Alex. Ward's sitting right next to me here. I'm really thankful that I met Calvin, because I probably would have either like picked up the bottle or like moved back home and just kind of gave up on just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. I'm going back to the way I was, just because like, Jesus Christ, I just kind of put to the fucking ringer.
Yeah.
In the worst way possible.
Yeah.
And but now there's a new light, there's a new flame, and it's just like, all right. And we just dropped a video the music video for Green Eyes and put out a teaser, and the thing reached like 2,000 views almost in like one day. And I'm like, oh shit, we never had that kind of attention before.
Yeah, we're
I never
working on
have.
really exciting things.
Yeah. And so like, it's just like, so, the positive swing is at the very end of 29, at least it's not a complete shit show. But
Right.
for a minute, I'm like grinding teeth and punching walls and stuff and like breaking my hands up. Like it was not good.
Yeah.
So that's been my backstory for the last year, at least.
Yeah. Let's get into Green Eyes then. That's the lead single, now available on all your digital platforms, and like I said, the music video available. So what, the YouTube is that good?
Yeah, YouTube. We have the full video. The video is also directed by our friend John Weaver. Directed, filmed,
Edited.
He also pretty much had the artistic direction. Is that directing? Yeah. Basically I'm like, hey, we just want to do a performance piece, and John's like, I got you.
Right.
And so all the editing, all the effects, everything in the video is our friend John Weaver from up in Chicago. We took a trip up there and filmed with him. We're also signed with Punkhead / Hey Pizza Records now out of Chicago.
Nice.
Who's putting out the EP, so we're doing vinyl, tape CDs, and all that stuff. But without further ado,
This is Green Eyes, live acoustic on Rock Paper Podcast.
How heavy can your heart be when I finally can't hold it? How sad does a soul have to be to never show it? How did it ever get this way? We belong in better days. Crying green eyes break me down every time. Untimely goodbyes, chasing dreams on a merry-go-round. The past is here to stay. Your memory won't fade, and I just can't forget your crying green eyes. Think of all that's come and gone, and everything your heart was holding. Never stop to wonder why those secrets you never showed them. It's a mystery that tears me apart. Maybe I'll never understand it, but now I dream of you from afar, and goddamn, I just can't stand it. But that's just all hearsay. I hope in my soul you're better off these days. Crying green eyes break me down every time. Untimely goodbyes, chasing dreams on a merry-go-round. The past is here to stay. Your memory won't fade, and I just can't forget your crying green eyes. Crying green eyes break me down every time. Untimely goodbyes, chasing dreams on a merry-go-round. The past is here to stay. Your memory never fades, and I just can't forget your crying green eyes. Crying green eyes. Your crying green eyes.
Yeah, if you want the full band version, again, like I said, find your favorite streaming platform and follow the links on there for more music coming soon. This will be gearing up. I guess December 8th will be the official release of the rest of the EP. So you'll be able to hear a whole lot more then, and we'll having a big party to celebrate the release of this brand new music.
That very next night.
Very next night over at the Platypus on December 9th with good friends of the show, Native State and Misplaced Religion. So that's going to be a wild night over there for sure.
We're gonna hit them hard with some rock and roll music. I'll tell you that much. I met Native State through Mark, and those dudes are super nice. They're super hungry, and they're great players. They're fun to be around. They know what they want. They know how to get it, and I love that. Fucking love that about anybody that's really serious about what they do. And so I'm like, you're the first call. I told him, like, you guys are the first call. I want you to be a part of this. And then I asked a friend of mine, I'm like, hey, I'm wanting to split the bill up. I wanted to start really diversifying shows. Not that it's like, oh, here's a country band, and now we're going to put on somebody that's influenced by Cannibal Corpse.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, not that crazy, but like, we're kind of like, I call it Green Day meets the Beatles meets the Replacements. Like, it's rock and roll, power pop,
Sure.
pop, whatever the fuck. I don't know. There's a lot going on there. And then Native State, they call it sex rock. It's just very groovy, fun, but they rip. They're rippers. They're great players. And then Misplaced Religion is just like, it's just rock and roll. There's like alternative. They just, I don't know, they beat your fucking head in, And so I asked a friend, I'm like, hey, I'm wanting to diversify a bill. What do you think about, I have Native State. I'm looking to round it out. And also I love 3-band bills. My God, I'm old, man. I'm gonna be 30.
Yeah,
4 or 5 band bills. I mean, I'm trying to be in bed by 11:30, not fucking 1:30. Like, Jesus fuck.
Man, at how many bands was Diamond? That was
4.
Yeah.
Oh, but they had them spread out quite a bit. They wanted to extend that night. I got so tired by the end of the night. I was running on I was running on that ice cream. I had that ice cream beforehand.
Hopes and dreams.
Yeah. But we got like halfway through that set, and I was just crashing like crazy.
We're going to get your diet squared away, boy.
Yeah.
My diet's fine. I will indulge in ice cream or some sweets every once in a while. But
Well, like, what was it? The baseball players used to use like honey. Remember an old teacher that was a ball player through college said they always had a bottle of honey, and if they needed a quick pep, they would do that.
Well, I think it depends on what area of baseball we're talking, but
Yeah, some would say cocaine, some would say chewing tobacco,
Right,
others would say
right.
honey.
right. There's a lot of different ways to get a little pep.
And methamphetamine should not be one of them.
Right. What's that? That Doc Ellis story, like pitching on LSD or whatever. And
Oh
all
God,
that.
yeah. Was it Pedro?
Yeah. It was Doc Ellis is the pitcher.
Oh, okay.
And then, but yeah, I'm like, I can't imagine and he pitched like one of the best games of his life.
I
And
think he literally threw a no hitter.
yeah.
No.
And
Yeah.
it's a remarkable story. And the guy was, hallucinating the whole time apparently and stuff so.
Didn't they say Wade Boggs had a pretty good game behind the plate as a batter at being drunk as shit?
That's probably sounds right.
Because there's the
probably
Sunny.
takes more risks.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the more It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they do the whole thing. That's the only reason why I found out about it. Because Sunny, It's Always Sunny I like that show a lot. And they did a whole episode to where it's Wade Boggs flew from there to there. He proceeded to drink so many beers, and then he went something out of 5 at bats or something or out of 10 at bats, something like that. And so they were on a mission to drink all that beer on this flight and then get to where they were going. I forgot where it was. And then they would have to, hit and try to get hits, on a ball diamond and see if they could actually do it like Wade Boggs. Yeah, it's a good episode too. But yeah, I heard something about that as well.
Yeah, man. Well, you mentioned something earlier about if this would sell. Having that conversation with Mike, and I think it's interesting that you brought that up because not that not that you guys are exclusively pop punk, but this era of music and a lot of what you guys are influenced by and some of the sounds are, I feel like, are as hot now as they've been in a long time.
Really?
I mean, you look at like When We Were Young festival, was doing huge, which was we're talking skateboarding earlier too. I saw a video of Tony Hawk jumping on stage with Goldfinger and singing Superman. So that was
recently,
like this
At When We Were Young?
last weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
So I was like, man, that's cool that getting Tony out there to sing it with him and stuff. So.
Dude, they did a cover of "In the City" by the Jam too that he sang. Which,
Yeah.
if you don't listen to the Jam, listen to the Jam.
Yeah.
Love that band.
And I was going to say also, Blink-182 dropping a brand new record.
Yeah.
And a
Oh,
tour,
fantastic.
And a tour and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, like a lot of what we grew up on and, influenced by is still doing huge numbers today. So, so I think there's plenty of fans that still love this music and a lot of fun, want to get rowdy with their friends and have a good time and get sweaty with you guys in places like Platypus and other fine establishments around town. So I'm excited to see what the response is for the rest of this music. Like I said, Green Eyes is already doing really well, and get the rest of this record out there and show them what you guys got.
Yeah, I know there's a couple more rippers on that record. It gets a little, or on the EP, it gets a little heavier. It gets a little thrashier too. It's like it's half sweet, half tart almost, if you will.
That's what I did like. I liked that there's definitely a lot of variety in there. With some of the ones we're highlighted, Dave, I feel like maybe are some of the more the sweeter side of this collection of songs, but definitely there's a couple on there that really turner-uppers for sure. So,
well, I know, and like the old stuff that anybody listened to was very, very, very heavily influenced on Green Day. And, that's what I was majority listening to at the time, like that and like GBH or the Exploited Casualties and stuff like that from, UK, like the street punk from back in the 80s.
yeah.
And then we cut the other record that we actually got rid of. I mean, we still have the files, but like I'm like, I don't want to put it out. That was like right in the vein of like Green Day, maybe a hair of like Foo Fighters. Like it was pretty much the same thing. And when Green Eyes came about, and that's the reason why I say I talk about selling and stuff like that. Like, honestly, I took a moment after I had that conversation with Mike, and I'm like, I got kind of concerned. And like, it was the first time I really thought about the idea of like, is anybody actually going to fucking like this? I'd never written anything like that before, and anything that I had written never really made me feel that way. And so it's like, honestly, we probably could have played it safe and put out the other stuff and, kind of rode what's going on, but I feel like there's just such a different vibe between Green Eyes and then the second track. They're very different sounding songs.
Right.
And, but like, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's like a beacon in the night almost, if you will, when I that kind of perks my ears up more. So I started listening to a lot of like power pop, a lot of like the Replacements. I think Paul Westerberg became one of my favorites, the lead singer and writer of that band. It's where he could really mix rock and roll, and he could mix like punk influence and old blues, and you really hear it in his later solo stuff. But you get around the album Tim and Pleased to Meet Me and Let It Be. Those records, like I put them on repeat. It was just like one after the other, and flip the vinyl and just go, and like that kind of inspired me to be like, it doesn't have to be just this and just that. And I started really taking an inventory of what I liked and what's going on and what I can, I like this part from that. And like, why do I like that there? I just, and then Green Eyes came out and it's like, holy shit. So now I'm just like, Yeah, here we go. Sort of deal. Hopefully it makes some traction.
Yeah. It's we don't you'll have to wait I guess to hear it on December 8th, but I wanted to talk about a song a little bit. I thought it was a fun little thing in growing up.
Oh yeah.
Where your lyrics say like you broke something.
Oh,
And then it sounds like you broke the guitar string. Is that like, I'm guessing all that was was all like kind of intentional there? Like, it's not really like a broken guitar string, but the way it's like it's like a, do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Interesting
sure.
observation.
Yeah, sure. Great. Yeah, we totally planned that.
Right.
No, the the lyric idea, the first part of the song is, did you wonder if it would be this way? Now your life's turned out to nothing. Second chapter, you just turn the page. Oh, well, boy, isn't this just something? That was me being like really satirical and like getting into your 20s. And like,
Right.
hey, kid, we really didn't teach you much about shit of the real world outside of school. Good fucking luck. And so it goes on later to where it's like, I guess... Oh God, it's been so long ago since I wrote this song probably 5 years ago when it just got on the burner to get mixed and stuff like that in the last 3 years.
Let's see. I've been working on the lyric videos. Let's see if I can help you out.
Well, no, I'm thinking
I've been studying them like line by line.
I got the words. It's like I'm putting myself back to where I was like 6 years ago.
Sure.
There was the idea of like, I guess when it comes to like, it was the idea of like being able to make money playing music, because I did that for a few years in my early 20s and I could make it happen. And then we started like traveling and stuff. So did you wonder if it'd be this way? Now your life's turning to nothing. Second chapter, you just turn the page. I think I just broke something. I think that was like me, a comment on like breaking the mold of like,
Right.
go to school and be done by 22. And then like, here's your college debt. And here's a job that you don't have a degree for because the degree you went for, the field's filled up by the time you got through schooling, and you've just been set up with nothing. You have been fucking lied to, and you have been beaten down by the system.
Right.
It's kind of, I guess, where I'm coming from with that in particular, and just kind of the whole song, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I thought it was interesting to hear like just the how the music, magnified the lyric there, and that kind of like that it went together so well. And I wasn't sure if it was like how much if it was all by design or how that worked out, but it was I thought it was really really well done the way it worked out though.
No, I think Austin threw that in when we tracked it here at Encapsulated, and I remember hearing it going like, yeah, that's cool. You know, it's a little bit different because it's like, it's all shiny and shimmery through there, and all of a sudden you just goes, whoa.
Right.
But
it's just like, that's where my mind went. It's like when you say broke something, it almost sounded like obviously it'd be hard to really record, on, in the middle of playing that song, throwing a broken string there. But like,
right.
that's what I imagine it would almost sound like if he did break the string there.
Oh,
like,
sure.
Like, just would kind of sound funny like that. So
I'm going to keep that in mind, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep a pair of wire cutters on me.
Right.
It's a broken
Yeah.
string here.
Right.
Take 30.
Yeah. God, this is getting expensive.
Yeah.
Well, we could maybe insert that sound bite into this
maybe.
episode too.
we did want to highlight another one though, and this closes out the track or the EP, and I mean, I don't know, I really like it all, but maybe my favorite track. I really enjoyed much like Green Eyes, just kind of a little softer side of what you guys do, and being not afraid to be vulnerable, and especially making it more of an acoustic track. This song is called Hopeless, Not Helpless. And like I said, mostly acoustic, but there is a little bit of electric slide work in there that was really tasty, and I think is a nice touch to the song. But I think in the lyrics that really caught me was I can't think of exactly, but you're like wondering if you were running out of time.
Oh yeah.
And
You once were worried you're falling from far behind. Now I'm worried that I'm running out of time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like something I think about a lot, and like in my
Me
own,
too.
my own personal journey, and so it really resonated for me, man. Like it's just I think that's the thing about great songwriting, that this is pulled from your story, but also can be applied to about anybody's story. Whatever, there's all kinds of other people, whatever their journey is, it's where they feel like they're running out of time, like whatever it is, so that kind of sentiment, like a lot of people the lyrics in this are vague enough to where you can really associate it with your own life, whatever's going on in your story. So
That's what I've always kind of tried to do, is be able to get a point across, tell a story, and make it relatable as much as I can. Every now and then I have a tune that's very straight to the point.
Right.
There's no room for interpretation. But that one, Hopeless Not Helpless, I actually had a conversation with an old friend of mine, Adriana. I haven't talked to her in years, actually. But she was talking about some stuff that she was going through at the moment. And then I used to have, luckily, knock on whatever the fuck. I used to have really bad panic attacks. And my anxiety was like through the roof. And, the depression comes with that pretty much. But like, I was constantly in a state of like, I'm going to fall over dead. I mean, if you saw me, I would almost even be checking my pulse at my neck, thinking, is my heart too slow or too fast? I mean, I was so just absolutely fucking flipped neurotic. And it just like, it scares the shit out of you, but there's nothing wrong. It makes you feel crazy, but you're not crazy. Your brain is just on overdrive, autopilot. And so that would send me also into the external crises of thinking about time and thinking about what you got left here. Cause like I walked around for years thinking I'm just going to fall over fucking dead.
Right.
No, whatever, like fucking cocaine I did, or like whatever alcohol I drank, no, like any of it doesn't, like I'm going to do this and I'm out. And it's, it's just like, I lived that way for a long time and didn't understand why. And luckily I got to start therapy earlier this year. And like, I really got to break down some of those walls.
Nice.
And start to understand that. And so like, luckily, that trigger and stuff like that doesn't happen for me as much anymore. Every now and then I still get a little weird, but like, yeah. So it's like, that comes from me just being like, just out of my fucking mind, man. Mm-hmm. Just like, cause like at the time, Adriana and I would talk back and forth, like I said, about what she did. And then like, I'd have my panic and she kind of helped each other for a little while just by, hey, yeah, I get that versus I get that. And here's this perspective. And so it was literally just a conversation with this friend, just sparked a song.
Yeah. But I think even, like some of those lines could be, reflective of like, maybe you think this relationship's running out of time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Whatever,
it's not even, yeah.
Whatever it could be. And like, so I think that's what's, I don't know. It's really a great song. And here it is right now. Exclusive sneak peek at the studio version.
Yeah.
That you will hear.
Yeah. Do it.
Full EP on December 8th.
Take your worry-laden mind, just leave it all behind. Let the past be in the past as the future comes to you. So your ripped and torn heart, some wild oats leave scars, but the pain you feel says it means that it's something true. Now I know there's nothing we can do. Speak with not soft-spoken tongue. Break the rule of thumb. The anger that flows says it means more than most to you. Don't wait for your time to come. Leave songs left unsung. When the sands of time drain, you look up as the piper's call is due. You once were worried you were falling out of line. Now I'm worried that I'm running out of time. Spend your life searching, looking for something that's true. Now I know there's nothing we can do. Spend your life searching, looking for something that's true. Now I know there's nothing we can do.
And again, join us December 9th to hear it live, hopefully, right?
Yes.
I'm sure it'll be on the set list that night.
Yes, we're going to play the full thing.
Yeah.
Might not be exactly front to back, but it's going to be the full kit and caboodle.
Nice, man. Very cool.
You should have heard the first time I attempted those slide parts too in that. It sounded like a fucking dying cat. I'm like, holy shit.
What, an electric or acoustic?
Electric.
Oh,
When
sure.
I do the actual slide parts.
Uh-huh.
No, when I play acoustic, it always sounds like a dying cat. It's fine. I was used to that.
Yeah.
But I was listening to, I put on like LA Woman, stuff like that from the Doors, and then I listened to American Idiot again for the first time in a while, and out of body and out of mind. Give me Novocaine. There's a little part
Yeah.
in between the verses, that first and second verse, that there's a little slide, and I'm like, I heard that. I'm like, you know what? I could do something. I hear something like that here. And so I'm like, I want to try a slide and like kind of make it spacey and big. It's got that vibe to it. And that's how that came to be.
Yeah,
it's just something that popped in my brain.
Nice. Yeah. I mentioned, it was a very serious moment, but I thought of a funny thing. But
You're one of those too, huh?
Yeah. Just because it was just happened today, but
You had to put Chester, a little kitty, down.
Yeah, right.
If I farted,
That's
That's me.
It was as you were talking about your heartbeat and stuff. I was listening to The Honeydew with Ryan Sickler, one of my favorite podcasts, and he had a guy named Country Wayne on today, who's a comedian, just dropped a big special on Netflix a little bit ago, and all this. But so the whole idea behind the show is highlighting the lowlights. That's their tagline. They talk about a lot of kind of messed up stuff that in their past, or and stuff, like they try to make fun and have a good time with it, but a lot of serious undertones to a lot of it. And then he talked about the struggles of he was so Country Wayne had 7 children by the time he was 22.
Oh, fuck me.
And
that guy could pull out of a fucking driveway.
Yeah, that's basically what he was saying. He was telling Ryan, he's like, why pull out? Man, it feels so good or something.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, it was like,
man, they got pills for that shit, buddy.
Right. But anyway, yeah, it was
Country Wayne, country fucking
Come
Wayne.
on, Country Wayne.
So he talked about how he got to the point where he had all these babies to feed, and so he started, hustling, and he was dealing drugs, and he was actually dealing drugs with his dad. And there was a moment where he told a story about that his dad, they got some new supply in, and he sold cocaine, and he said he got some new supply in, and his dad was the tester.
Oh, fuck.
And tested this stuff, and he said he snorted like 7 grams or something. Like, it was like a lot. And he's like, he's like, man, this shit ain't nothing. He's like, I'm calling him back in the morning. We're gonna send this stuff back. Like, this ain't doing nothing, all stuff. And then he said like an hour later, he calls him and he's like, son, I lied. This stuff's working. It's like, but he said he felt like he had 2 heartbeats. Like said his heart was like racing so much and stuff. And he's like, was afraid to get up because he thought he was going to die if he did. And I don't know. It was just like, it was a crazy ass story, but it made me laugh so hard hearing him tell it. And but anyway, that's, where my mind started to go, going back to as you were
That's
talking.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
Sounds like you listen to a lot of podcasts.
I do. I mean, I work.
Hey, game recognizes game.
Yeah.
Sure.
I got a lot of time with my headphones at work, so I get. I was always looking for something new to listen to, and but yeah, I'm a fan of the format, and I'd listen to mostly comedy ones, probably. A lot of my favorite comedians. That's those are guys why I started doing this anyway.
We just rewatched the episode where Bert Kreischer comes on with Tom Segura, 2 bears.
Man,
Was it 2 bears, one
cave.
one cave? The Kool-Aid part.
Oh man, that's
so much Kool-Aid. I just
This is a podcast?
yeah. Tom Segura's got a podcast.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you the link and you can watch it. It's so fucking
all right,
funny. But he's just
You'll have
like,
to.
yeah. Bert and Tom do 2 bears, 1 cave together.
oh, together. Okay, I didn't know that.
That's the 2 bears. And
Fair.
they got Bert comes in with like this giant water jug, like it's like a full gallon.
It's so good.
And he's like sipping it, and he's like, "What do you got in there?" He's like, "Kool-Aid," and he's like, and then they just start laughing. Like Tom's like pissing himself laughing that he's got Kool-Aid, and a grown man drinking a gallon of Kool-Aid and stuff, and he's like, "It's so much sugar, man."
People walk by you and think good for that guy. He drinks that much water. So Kool-Aid. It's like he progressively gets higher and higher until he's squeaking like a mouse.
Right. Yeah,
He's like, no, it's a low sugar. It's like, shut up, Bert.
It's a classic one, yeah.
Yeah, it's so like it doesn't matter. Like if you're not there, like you still think it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those rare infectious laughs to where it's like you just can't stop because once they go, you go, and even like you're just not even sitting there watching it happen. Right. You're still like you're laughing at that shit.
Yeah.
It's like and I love my favorite comment though, and that entire thing goes right after the first big laugh. Tom Segura goes, "Wait, take me through your morning." And the fucking production crew just fucking loses it behind him. Because I'm like, you know what, Tom Segura, that's a great question. Bert, go.
All right.
And he's like, I make a double iced coffee. I go for a 4-mile run. I take a shower in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And then I proceed to have like two 64-ounce containers of fucking Kool-Aid. He goes about 120 ounces, and he takes a big drink.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, he's a mess.
Which I don't understand that. I have a hard enough time just trying to drink water because I just forget. You know, I normally drink just water or like a tea or coffee.
Yeah, man. You don't own a water bottle, I've noticed.
No, I own a tumbler, but like I lose the shit. I'll lose it.
Oh.
God, yeah, I'm bad. That's why I don't
Yeah.
take it anywhere, you know?
I noticed. Yeah. I carry a water bottle with me like everywhere. But I noticed on our trip this weekend.
Yep. But like, I'm just trying to, we just got back from a T1 Fest in Chicago, which, by the way, check it out. It's a pop punk music fest for all proceeds go to finding cure and stuff like that for type 1 diabetes. And
Nice.
we just got back from that this weekend. But like, so Bert's like, oh, I drink 120 ounces of this a day.
Yeah.
Like my body's just like, hey, could you give me more than like 10 ounces of water? Like, I'm so bad.
Right.
I'm like, how do you fucking do that?
Yeah.
And I like water. I don't want to not drink water. I'm just like, I don't know. My brain doesn't focus like that. It's like, oh, the thing you need to live? You don't need that.
Right. So when you guys were on the road on your travels there like that, what's
Nutter Butters.
Nutter Butters? What's on the radio? What do you guys find yourself listening to? Who's DJing?
Well, I mean, this last trip, Calvin was mostly DJing with special requests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. A song that stuck out to me that I actually listened to today was
Fucking Blink.
Well, wait. No, I'd already been listening to Blink. Oh shoot, what's the song? Give me a second. My phone is.
We went from everything from like King Gizzard and like the OCs to like the Replacements.
Republica. What was the song there?
Oh, I know you're talking about. I couldn't tell you the name.
Yeah, okay.
But I hear
it was a Republica song. I'd never
Yeah.
heard of the band, but I liked it.
And the Beatles. We literally did some jazz instrumental tracks. I mean, just literally everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Do you guys have a song currently on repeat that and that's been in your head or on the playlist a lot?
Me personally, one of my favorite songs and one of my favorite bands is the Struts. A song called One Night Only. That song, I think it's stuck in my head. Well, it was stuck in my head for a long time because I used to work out at Planet Fitness, and they play these music videos on TVs, which is really distracting. I don't like it because I just like, my eyes just go up to the TV. But they would play the same playlist on repeat like every single hour. So they played One Night Only by the Struts like maybe once an hour.
Right.
So, and I even told the band this.
Yeah.
Dillon and I went to go see the Struts. And
We actually hung out with them for a minute.
Yeah. I was at the pageant. They came into the back,
Nice.
and I was like, I gotta tell you guys, I found out about your band through Planet Fitness. And they're like, oh, Planet Fitness, really?
I'm surprised they were just like, what the fuck?
Well, I'm sure they were, but they were just being polite.
I love doing the thing too. So I was talking to Addo, is his name on Instagram, Addo Struts, their guitar player.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a guitar nerd. I love the amps. I could tell you like, oh, the year of the Les Paul, whatever. I'm like, I looked at him and said, hey, what year is that Les Paul Jr. you're playing? He's like, oh, about 60, mate. I'm like, dude, that's cool as shit. And he goes on. And I'm like, and I just watch his face go, oh shit. Like, does he actually like know stuff? Because like they get used to like, oh, I like your blue guitar. And he's like, oh, great. Like just because some people just don't know or they're not musicians.
Sure.
But I'm over like, no, I like that guitar because I'm, crazy about the stuff.
Right.
And so he's just kind of like, the fuck. So that was fun. But no, they put on a hell of a show.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I like the Struts. Like I started listening to them after that.
I love those guys. I would definitely. I mean, I would say like the power pop. That's pretty power pop.
Oh God,
Glam-
no!
glam rock?
That's glam rock and roll. Power pop's
Okay,
a
I guess
different.
not.
Yeah, you gotta look. You gotta get to
All
Nick
right.
Lowe. My friend Kurt Baker. God, I love Kurt Baker so much. Is really good at power pop. Nick Lowe, Nick Cave, The Sweet, and
Fountains
Slade.
of Wayne.
That's bites like pop punk.
Fountains of Wayne? No, it's not.
their big hit is to me. I'll have to look them up. I might be wrong about that. I'll have to dig more into the back catalog. But like Power Pop was like way bigger in the 70s with like Slade and Cheap Trick and stuff like that.
Okay. We did not prepare for this interview. This part of the interview. We needed to come with an exact definition of power pop.
Well, I came with the exact definition of power pop.
Okay. Maybe I'm just kind of finding out about power pop. And I'm like, Fountains of Wayne.
Well, the cool thing is Alex is a little bit more modern in his music taste, I feel like, than I am. And I am like way back in the olden times. Like, I know you like older stuff too, but like that's where like I'm getting my draw from. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm all about Cheap Trick and I'm all about like Nick Lowe and Nick Cave and stuff like that right now. I just like that kind of vibe.
I do think like genres are kind of weird.
They are.
Like, I do think they serve a purpose for certain things, but also I feel like in this exact moment like this, like most of them people don't know what falls into what, kind of thing. Like it could be under an umbrella of rock, but there's so many variations of rock or what, and like I think it's this, but I think it's that, and like or the band could be both, and it's like it doesn't there because they have certain songs that lean this side, that side, it's like, so it's kind of a weird thing to say, like to lump a one band into any certain genre unless it is just under the rock or whatever, hip hop or whatever that whatever that branch is. But
yeah, and streaming and listening to music on the internet is so algorithm based now that I would say the only importance in labeling those genres is that, but also kind of in a marketing sense.
There's a big importance in labiaing. We'll talk about that later.
Labeling and labeling them that way. Is that what I said?
Yeah, I heard like the word labia was coming out.
Oh,
labeling, and I'm like, yep,
right,
he's going there anyway.
But
that's for the next podcast. Yeah. Like,
but no, I agree. It's
adult time, with Shane Pressler.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I agree. There's so many, like, alternative is such a wide range of subgenres.
I noticed a lot of my favorite bands, they sound like them, regardless of what you call them.
Sure.
You could say this band is this genre. Yeah, but guess what? They still sound just like them. Like no one really sounds like them, or they try to sound like that. Like I really love the individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like the band is one of my perfect examples. They go from like a song like Up on Cripple Creek to about 10 years later, they have a song called Ophelia. Two totally different things. Like you would almost think they're two different bands that are doing it.
Sure.
But like their growth and the way they do things is incredible. And
I started listening to a bunch of not that it's anything new, but listened to a bunch of Stones the other night, Rolling Stones, and because the new record came out, and I was listening to that. Yeah. And then
I think I checked that out.
And also I got inspired because Keith was on Howard Stern's show, and it was a really fun interview, and they were talking about some of the old songs, so I wanted to go listen to some of those. And but ultimately they're a rock and roll band. Yeah. But they have country songs, they have disco songs, they have they have every a wide mix of music. Yeah. And but yeah, anyway, it was it's interesting that they took Keith said, he said they took blues music and they sold it back to America. They just
he's right.
And it's kind of interesting and then I think it's also funny that you're talking about McCartney and Beatles, because they actually gave them their first song that their first
John did
original that they cut. And
really,
so I think, and he's like, yeah, here you guys have the song. And
wow,
John looked at him, said they had, hey, what can we do when the Stones were starting out? And John goes, well, if you want any real success, you got to do your own stuff,
right?
And this is like 1963.
Oh sure,
yeah, it's insane. Like John Lennon's like, hey, write your own shit.
Yeah,
here's one to get you started.
Yeah,
and now you have the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, he Howard pulled up a bunch of stuff like that Keith wrote. Keith and Mick, I guess, co-wrote a lot of these songs like that they didn't sing, and it was like their practice, I guess, like as they were like learning how to write their own songs, and they gave a lot of them away to people, and they cut them, and a lot of them Keith acted like he totally forgot all about, but it's like it was interesting to hear like some of these songs and stuff. So it was really a good interview. If anybody's any bit of a Rolling Stone fan at all, like it was fun to hear Keith talking about some of this stuff because he doesn't do a lot of interviews either way.
Yeah.
And especially an in-depth thing like that, or like talking to Howard for that long. And I didn't know he recorded like some of the stuff, like what was I can't think I'm blanking on the titles, but he did one of them like with an acoustic guitar, which I thought for sure had to be an electric guitar, but the way he had it tuned and like they ran it like I guess they mic'd on the amp or however they did it, like but it gave it enough fuzz to sound like an electric, even though it was all recorded on acoustic. So
yeah,
That's cool.
You could take a pickup like that and just crank the shit out of it
Right.
and just push the signal and do stuff like that. Like there's cool technology with the miking acoustics and things. It's rad.
and then
Keith just has a sound, man.
yeah,
That is to this day. I saw them 21, right? Was the last tour that they did at the Enterprise Center here in town. They kicked off the tour here. And to this day, that is the biggest fucking guitar tone I've ever heard in my life. When they jumped into, he did Happy, which is like the one song he sang, and then they did Start Me Up. I have never heard a guitar sound that big before. That blows me away. And like, he's playing a Telecaster through Fenders, and they're cranked to like fucking 8, and there's no digitation or digitizing. There's no, I just made a new word, digitation. There's no computers, or I'm sure they have some stuff through Ableton for the lights or whatever, but like there's no pedals, there's no, it's just fucking amps and hands and guitars, and like I'm just dumbfounded by stuff like that. That stuff floors me, and that's what I like to try to do as well. Because like I don't, you could probably prove me wrong sitting here, but I have yet to hear like a fractal or like a line 6 or a pedal sound that fucking big. And if it is, I'll sit here and say I'm wrong for sure. I know when I've been bested, but I haven't heard anything sound like the way Keith Richards sounded that night.
yeah. It's only rock and roll, man.
But I like it, I really got into I got a couple tunes. When I Paint My Masterpiece by the band, written by Bob Dylan, stuck in my head. Ophelia by the band as well. Don't Think Twice, It's All Right by Bob Dylan has been rolling around there. Oh Darlin' by the Beatles will forever has a spot and just never leaves. It's constantly, literally, it's like the pop-up ad that you can't get rid of.
Right.
It sits in the background. Literally, any time of day, you could ask, hey, Dylan, what verse are you on, No Darlin'? I'll be like, oh, second one.
Right.
Like about right there where Paul ramps up. And but my latest musical obsession has been a band called Lucius. I don't know if you've ever listened to them or not, but it's Jess and Holly. I think they're like an indie pop duo, which indie whatever, but like they're so much more than that. They take care in their stuff. Like they can do disco stuff. They put out a disco dance record, which is incredible, called oh my God. I saw them on the tour. They just came by earlier this year or last year. Next to Normal's on the album is one of my favorite songs. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. I can't think of that record because I want to plug that for them so bad because it's so good. They have a record called Good Grief that has Dusty Trails. Might be my favorite song of all time right now. And it's an incredible, it's like a newer, almost Americana song or something. But their vocal harmonies are just incredible. Their writing is fantastic. Lyrically, they can tell a story and send a message. And they literally have synchronized their vibratos. When they harmonize, they sing two different notes, but they oscillate the same. They drive me fucking insane. Yeah. I'm like, you are the greatest thing I've ever seen. And I have yet to see another band come out in the last few years that has hit me like that. and I just found them on a whim.
Yeah.
But they're fucking incredible, and they sound just like the records live. And yeah, please listen to Lucius.
That's one of my favorite things when you just like stumble upon your next favorite band. And all of a sudden you're like, whether you go to a show and you catch the opening band or whatever, you know, and it's like, man, where have they been all my life kind of thing. It's like,
I was sitting at home on like a Monday night. It's like, I had been pretty broke for a long time too, with just, I had COVID a couple times when I first moved to St. Louis. And then, the company that I had worked for sent me a 1099 because I was, you know, contracted in for a while, and I didn't prep for that because I didn't think about it, whatever, you know, it's all on me regardless. And so it got to a point to where I could had some money put back. I'm like, I can go do a few things here and there. And I was just thumbing through Facebook events. What can I take care of? Or what can I go see that night? And I saw Lucius at Delmar Hall. I looked up a YouTube video, and it might have been Next to Normal. And I'm like, okay, this sounds good. I like their voices. Like, let's go check it out. When I left, my fucking jaw was on the floor.
yeah.
I'm like, this is crazy. Like, why are they not playing Minimum the Pageant right now?
Right.
Yeah. And so, like, ever since then, I'm the biggest cheerleader for Lucius.
Nice.
Love him to death.
I've had the Burger King theme song in my, stuck in my head lately.
I just think about that dope ass crown and ring wearing king that they had for the marketing campaign for a long time, and he's just like at war with McDonald's, like, you know, okay, and drive-bys and shit.
Yeah, but I just been on in my head and just Whopper. You know, just
Can't say I know that
BK, have it your way, you rule. So.
That's some good marketing.
Excuse me.
It's an earworm.
Yeah, it's definitely been on a loop the last couple of months.
I had the Arby's one. That ever get you?
We have the meats.
meats.
Oh yeah, that's Ving Rhames.
Really?
That does that, which is I think is hilarious. Bringing it back to Tarantino.
Yeah, right.
If you're playing at home on your
yeah, go ahead and mark that one off your bingo card for today.
Bing Rhames in one of my favorite roles in Pulp Fiction when he's has no man,
I'm pretty fucking far from being yeah. I was right there with you, bud.
So I think that's a classic line.
Who does Marcellus look like?
Yeah.
Does he look like a bitch?
Yeah.
I know it's not it's Sam Jackson, obviously, but that's a great line.
I mean, that movie's just full of quotables, man.
You know, I just had this conversation with somebody too about Tarantino. I'm like, fuck it, let's go there. What up with that dude in the feet?
I don't know about that one.
Like, man, he has like two movies I really enjoy. One, honestly, at this point, Reservoir Dogs. I think it's a great film. I think there's a cool story. The characters and the casting is right. You know, I like Pulp Fiction. It's not, for me, it's not great. It's like, oh, okay, I'll watch it because it's just a weird fucking film, sure. But like, what the fuck, Tarantino?
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't like Inglourious Bastards?
No, okay, love that. Any chance I get to watch Brad Pitt beat up on some fucking Nazis, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is great.
I forgot about Inglourious Bastards. No, love that tune.
Yeah.
Or love that movie. But yeah, so like those are my two.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, dude, are you just trying to suck on Salma Hayek's toes like the rest of your life? What the fuck's going on here with that guy?
I mean, who isn't though? You know.
You know what? God damn you. God damn you, Shane.
Man,
you're not wrong.
The Hateful Eight. That I think he's the one director who could do who could ever do a 45-minute. Did you see the Hateful Eight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was that carriage scene was like 45 minutes long.
But who's not?
Yeah.
Well, any argument I had, sorry, Hal, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
any
no, you're
argument I had against like Tarantino or whatever just got dropped after that comment. Who's not?
We could all be Tarantino.
Yeah, right.
I kind of want to be Tarantino now.
Less creepy though.
Yeah, way less feet. Yeah, not a foot guy.
You look less like a cashew.
Yeah. I told my buddy about he there was when they did the Grindhouse double feature. Death. What was it? Death Trap. I think it's the name of the movie.
I don't know.
Is that a Tarantino movie?
Yeah, it was him and Robert Rodriguez did a double feature together.
Oh,
I think-
right. I heard about that. I don't remember what it was called.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But then the other one's called Planet Terror, and this is the Robert Rodriguez one, and Tarantino's in it. And I was telling my buddy about this scene, and like he said he didn't have no idea about it, but there's a part where he's kind of like this police officer or guard kind of character kind of thing, and he. So there's like a radioactive shit starts like. And he's like, his skin starts melting, and he's like,
Oh shit.
and he like starts like, and he's like, I think he's gonna, I don't know, I can't remember exactly all the details, but he's like, I think he's gonna go in there and he's like gonna try to get with this girl, and he pulls down his pants and his dick just falls off,
Oh fuck.
and and it's like, some my buddy like said he had no, I was just telling him about it, and he's like, and it just made me laugh thinking like, of all the Tarantino roles, like that's what, such a funny one being. So
And that was him in that role. Was he?
yeah,
That's what good.
But it wasn't directed by him.
no,
It was-
he's just acting in that movie, but
wow.
That gives me a little bit of leverage because I know he put himself in the role and created a fucking role to suck on
Yeah.
Selma Hayek's foot.
right,
So it's like, at least if he put himself in the role to like have his dick get pulled
Right.
off,
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? That's fair. We're even now,
Yeah.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
We're even. But
Yeah.
nope, not quite. You still owe me something, bud.
Right.
Nope, that's weird.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to stop.
we can't have Tarantino have the last laugh.
Yeah,
of
can we
Hey,
summarize here?
I think
Jesus.
once you've had
Sucking off feet.
Tarantino's dick falling off, that's like that's you've talked about it all. Then I think like no, I mean, what's more rock and roll than that? You know?
That's true.
You got to rock till your dick falls off,
Yeah.
man. That's the goal.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's how I live my life.
Dickless.
We again, you can find the links on your Facebook and Instagram. Get plugged in on the socials. Find the music video for Green Eyes again on your YouTube and hit subscribe. And be sure to follow along on the your favorite streaming platform. We do have a pre-save link, right?
Yes, we have a pre-save for Spotify. If you're not using Spotify and you're on Tidal or Deals or whatever, like grow up. Just kidding. You can still
pre-ad. It's pre-save for Spotify, pre-ad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Music.
see, like, why couldn't we all get together and it's like, hey, the term is pre-save.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, could the streaming services just give us that?
Right.
No, Apple just has to be different.
Yeah. But I do.
Or they have to copy off everyone else.
Yeah.
But please do, because I mean, I don't know if people talk about it some, but those numbers really help, especially for independent groups trying to get placed on different playlists and things. And like, I mean, all those numbers help getting those pre-saves in there. So plus you'll be notified as soon as the day comes out. Yeah, so you get your nice little alert that, hey, you got brand new Winx music to listen to today. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for saying that too, because it's like we just made the comment about the outreach that the reel we put out got, and the likes and stuff like that are incredible, and we're glad to see people paying attention. But it gets down to brass tacks. Please do the pre-saves. Please, if you really like Green Eyes and the rest of this EP, pre-add it, pre-save it. Please put it on your playlist. Share it with your friends if you think they'd like it too. Like, that's when you want to talk about supporting the local scene. That's legitimately where it comes from now. It comes from actually getting down and doing stuff like that.
Taking action.
And taking action. We, like I said, we appreciate the likes and the shares on Facebook. We know that you're watching and you're paying attention, and we're thankful for that, because now we keep tabs on you.
Yeah,
but
and all this stuff can be found any of our bio links on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. We have a link tree where the music video, pre-save, pre-ad, and single can be streamed, as well as we're going to be releasing like new live room and behind the scenes videos,
all of our antics.
All of our antics. We're going to be releasing those week to week.
Nice. And mark it on your calendar. Grab your tickets as soon as you can for December 9th, Platypus, Native State, Misplaced Religion, and your boys, the Winks.
Hey. We also want to say, too, Platypus is not a massive room. Please, when the tickets drop, get your tickets in case you may not be able to walk up and get them at the door for this place. I just want you to know that. So if you really want to be there,
Disclaimer.
Please be proactive.
Yeah.
You know, I want you there. If you really want to be there, I want you there. So
yeah. But I thank you guys for spending some time with me. This has been a whole lot of fun. And
thank you for spending time with us.
Let's not let 6 years go by before we do it again.
Yeah, I can't do that because like I'm going to be 36 at that point. No. We have to eat Little Debbie snacks or have some Philly cheesesteaks way before then.
You had me at
Watch some Tarantino.
yeah.
We watch a Tarantino film that doesn't revolve around his love for feet.
Right.
It'd be great.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you again for having us on, Mr. Shane Presley from Rock Paper Podcast. Also available at rockpaperpodcast.com. Thank you so much.
That's true. All right. Bye, everybody.
Doodles.